Hello again, and let's move the cursor away for a bit. Welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to do a review of Viking Moon, issue 1 of 5 by Image Comics. It was released in 2025. And yeah, what we're basically going to do is, since it's how I usually do these types of videos, I usually go to, let's say, an indie comic, but I don't consider Image indie comics because they're basically importing a lot of industry washouts from the States. So yeah, there isn't much indie about them, in my opinion. From, let's say, so yeah, a comic from American comic from 2025, or in case from Tales from the Past, it goes a little bit further back from the 1960s all the way to 2011. But this was in the second category. Could be in let's say, an American comic like this, an indie comic from all parts of the world, European, manga, whatever, and even some web comics. How I usually break these videos down, we go to who the team is, writer, art, and yeah, the cover is pretty much two persons, so that's pretty easy. Synopsis, we do a quick breakdown. With some nice, royalty-free background music in the background, and we follow with a plus and a minus, where we put all the good against the bad, and yeah, we also give a final verdict from 10 out of 100 till 100 out of 100. I'm terrible with words today, and with 70 out of 100 being average. And that's not all. Also be using the League of Comics Geeks to give you the thoughts and reviews of other people who read it. So without further ado, grab yourself a cup of tea, some bites, and yeah. Before we get into the video, make sure that you read this issue, and yeah, because there will be spoilers. Thank you for your understanding. Let's get into who the team is. Well, the cover kind of revealed it. It's written by Joe Pruett. I don't even know how to spell his name. Letters by Joe Martin. And Pruett did the logo design. And Marcelo Frusin is the colorist, who also did the cover. There are some alternate covers as well, by Philippe Xavier with Jérôme Maffre. It's probably French or something. Tibor Tadic and Stefan Bertolik did the C cover. Mudita did the cover D. Marcelo Frusin did the incentive cover. And yeah, that's pretty much who the team is. Now, what's it all about? Well, it's a bit of a throwback to, let's say, 1003 AD. Where Leif Erikson, Inga Durgan, established the Viking settlement in Vneland. Unland, I don't even know how to spell it. It's Norwegian or Scandinavian. But it's nowadays it's known as Newfoundland, an island close to the coast, at the coast of Canada. It's strange but populated by Native Americans. And I have the names of it right here, because they're known as they were known at least as the ancestors of the Beowulf. I hope I spelled that name correctly. I don't even know how to spell that name. You know how it goes with Native American things. Plus something supernatural. In this case, called the skinwalkers or the shapeshifters, which is kind of strange because it's closer to Navajo than what we found in Newfoundland. But that's a story for another video. I digress. 20 years later, a new attempt is made. Viking Ulf and his tribe discover the whisper of creatures, half human, half beast. And yeah, they discover that it's not a primitive legend. So now we get into the breakdown, where you get straight into the action. Where yeah, the Vikings are running in Newfoundland. seemingly running away from something, but that's why they pause. No, they're near. In shadows, I can sense them. So yeah, the scalings, in this case the screechers. I'm Ulf, chieftain of this tribe. We do not seek battle, but we do not fear it. If it's blood you seek, it will be yours upon my sword. So Ulf is basically the leader of the tribe. But one of his fellow men takes an arrow to the eye and screams in agony because he's dead. Skyde, that is the name of his companion. I promise you that the blood of these savages will flow as the ocean's waters endless and deep. Stay near me, do not allow them to separate us. So what happens next is one of the natives, it kind of looks more like a Navajo Indian or Indian of the prairies, or native of the prairies, because Indians are another group of people. And the tomahawk or axe hits the shield, does 0 to no damage, and with one slice of its sword, Ulf decapitates him, and he tells him that you have sent your foe to whatever hell would take these savages. And here comes another one of his Vikings that basically slashes him with an axe in a backward swing. I don't even know how that's supposed to make sense, but I digress. They come from all sides now. Be on guard. So yeah, they're basically surrounded by natives. And but Ulf and his Vikings as kind of Spears the Scar is some kind of common name or something. But the Ulf and his Vikings basically take on the natives. Seems to be the ancestors of in this case the Beowulf. I don't even know how to spell that. And tell them to come at them, and basically they're quite evenly matched, despite the lack of armor and steel on the side of the natives. Tell them to come and meet then, one at a time or all at once. I care not. Your mate will mourn you this night. Well, they're about to send each other to Odin's banquet, that's for sure. And speaking of Odin's banquet, they hear the scream or the howl of something, more dangerous. That sends the natives, running for their lives. And Ulf looks at them, running away. They had me vastly outnumbered. Why would they not press their advantage? That's my question as well. But and Ulf realized that it's not him that they fear, but they fear something else has made their appearance, or at least two what seems to be skinwalkers. Come out of the shadows so that I might see you. I prefer to look into the eyes of a man before I kill him. And the feeling is mutual, except they're a little more animalistic, feral by nature. And no, it's not for furries. Get the hell out of here. Demons. But they're not furries, they're demons. The stories were true. I should never have brought my people to this haunted land. Something that we will discuss later. Because now we get to the flashback. One day earlier, you see a Viking ship in a beautiful splash page sailing towards Vneland. So this Vneland, the words used to describe this beautiful vale, dismally in their task. Never have I seen more splendid land, though it is what lies hidden and unseen within its shadows that we must be ever vigilant and wary. If we are to succeed where others before us have failed. Frode, you are sure of this location? Yes, my lord Ulf. Erikson's maps are as precise as they're accurate. Inga Dinga Durgan. Then let us move close to the shore and choose a place to land. I'm sure all aboard would like to feel the ground beneath them once more. And Ulf is not alone this time. Aside his tribe of Vikings, his daughters and his wife, Yrsa, are also on the ship, and they can't wait to set foot on, on Vneland, on the shores. Forgive your daughter's youthful impatience, my husband, though I will echo her desire to leave this ship. It has been a long journey, and I'm eager to see it end. Yeah. Who wouldn't be with a journey this long? I don't know exactly how long it will be by ship, but it took a few, I think weeks, maybe months. I don't know. But Ulf promised his wife Yrsa, one journey ends and another begins, Astrid. We will make this land our own, or at least Astrid is his wife. We will prosper here, we will grow old together here. For us, for our people, you will see. Well, some things are kind of beyond their control. But yeah, one of the elders asked him if he waits a decision, but one of them tells him that the crew can wait a moment or more. He's also a husband and a father, let him be. And the guy's right. So depending on him to provide for them and to protect. No need to scold the old man, Tijk. He might be irritable, but he's right. There, take us to the shore along that stretch of beach. We shall make a camp there this day. Come ashore, you dogs. There's a work to be done. If you decide to sleep upon the land this night, tell the men to bring the axes and gather lumber from the nearby forest. This is where we shall build. So they get to work. They cut down some logs, some trees, get some logs, and the gunner Skard, he will be Ulf's feet and eyes, and he sends him into the wilderness to scout and tell him to come back in the morrow and tell him what he has seen. And yeah, once again, Ulf tells to his wife, the men work hard with haste, but it seems like all shall sleep upon the dragon's ship, at least for the one final night, which is the wise choice in any regard. Till Gunnar and Skard return from their scouting mission, I do not want to place lives at risk, especially yours and Yrsa's. So yeah, his daughters. You're right to fear the natives of this land. The Skradings, if the tales are true, said they number in the thousands. I'll feel much safer when our defenses are complete. As will I. Wait, where's Yrsa? His daughter. Especially being curious. You know how children are that age. This land is as beautiful as you, my little friends. I believe I will like it here, where I come from. The land is cold and harsh, not green and lush as it seems here. Of course, Scandinavia is a little more different. A little colder as well. She hears the sound and yeah, the snap of a twig or branch, and Yrsa screams if there's someone, to see if there's someone there, but she suspects nothing more than a small animal, but regardless of what you may be, I mean you no harm. And here's one of the natives, the native scouts, who is a little suspicious, because who wouldn't be? But yeah, back there they're basically setting up the camp. Ulf thought the building of this buddy would take several days, but it appears that they may be completed before day's end. And he wonders who managed to achieve such a feat, but Ulf, one of them tells Ulf that Niall does the work of two men, lives the wave of three, because yeah, he's a guy that could we see here is in this physical prime and in excellent shape for a guy's age. And so I see fortune favored us when he accepted our invitation to join our voyage. Gunnar and Skard have returned. What news have you? We have found what you sought, my lord. You must return with us to see it with your own eyes. So Ulf joins with Skarde and Gunnar. They travel along the river shores and yeah, see what they've seen, but they're near, just beyond the next bend of the river, and they're not alone because the Skrælings, or at least the ancestors of the Beowulf, found them, yeah. They entered their territory, so yeah. What's your bow, Gunnar? Have them inside. What's your command? Means to fire his bow, my lord. Don't be a fool, he's more frightened of us than we are of him. But none of them wants to knows their true intentions. But Gunnar in haste, because yeah, it's archer versus archer. He loses the arrow and it enters his neck through his throat and to his neck, and yeah, he's dead. And Ulf, he did not want this to happen actually. Do you know what you've done? Lower your bow, he's beyond us now. Things you have wrought cannot be undone. We shall have no peace upon this land. I was a fool to hope for otherwise. What would the Viking know of peace? It's not our way. And tell him to continue. Take him to Thorfinn Karlsefni's settlement so that he can see his horror for himself. So this is where, yeah, the old settlement of Leif Erikson, or this, at least this Thorfinn Karlsefni's settlement, and yeah, he must tell them they must make haste. What needs to be seen, we can retreat back to our people. The Skrælings will alert this tribe, and they will return in greater numbers than us three. Here they kind of yeah, do some yeah, detective work. They look at strange markings upon the door. They appear to be that of a wild beast seeking entry within this hall. I've never heard of such a thing. A question we also ask ourselves, my lord. This is unsettling. And yeah, it is unsettling, indeed. So yeah, turns out there was a battle. One where our own were not the victors. These bodies were not only broken but ripped open and scattered about. This is not the work of the Skrælings, this was something else. So they come to the conclusion that, not unexpected, that the Skrælings were not responsible for it, but something far worse, aka skinwalkers, or in this case werewolves. This place of death, but could still prove to be a haven upon our people. We no longer have the luxury of fortifying the beach landing. We must bring our people here. Oof, bad mistake. Darkness approaches quickly and we are still in distance from our camp. We must leave at once. And turns out that the Skrælings, or what seems to be the ancestors of the Beowulf, caught up on them. Because they have their arrows ready, bows fully drawn and ready to fire. And Ulf tells them to run, but it turns out that we're ending on a cliffhanger here, and the so-called demons, the ones responsible for killing his fellow Vikings, or at least the previous settlement that tried, are here, and they're hungry for blood. To be continued. Nice second cover, by the way. And here's the writer Joe speaking. Thankful that you've chosen to spend your hard-earned money on our title Vikings vs. Werewolves saga. I hope you enjoy reading it as much as we enjoyed creating it. And yeah, here he tells a little bit about how he grew up with werewolf stories, etc. And yeah, tells a bit of background about Leif Erikson, thought to be the first Europeans to set ashore in North America, present-day Newfoundland, Canada. The historical site of Laans, Meadow, is speculated to be of Norse origin, giving physical proof and credence to the legends. Leif himself did not stay long, returning to Greenland. Leif's brother, Leif Erikson, also led an expedition to Finland, only to die a tragic death upon arriving. Around 1004, Thorfinn Karisnefi, I'm terrible with names, attempted to establish a Norse settlement, but after a few years of struggles and skirmishes, it was abandoned. So this is the historical narrative that we are following. Years after Thorfinn Karisnefi failed attempt to establish a Norse settlement, our group of Vikings have decided to once again try, but with the intent of succeeding where others before them failed. Why? But here comes the question, the billion-dollar question: why did the Vikings abandon North America so quickly? Well, theories suggest that it was the native population, the Skrælings, Screen people, or in this case the ancestors of Beowulf, who can shapeshift, the Vikings were severely outnumbered and in constant danger, so the reasonable explanation is what it was something more. But most Native American tales have stories of skinwalkers, humans who can shapeshift into animals. The legends are not necessarily limited to wolves, but other animals as well, which is true. It's not just for North American legends, but also for Mesoamerican and South American. But they are focusing on the werewolf legend. What if these wolf skinwalkers also acted as protectors of the native populations and were instrumental in repelling these Norse invaders? Sounds like a cool story, huh? Let us know if you agree. An interesting premise, but execution is something that we'll discuss now. Go to front cover. So plus and minus. Well, there's a good cover, but also some good alternatives that you could check out. There's decent to good interior art. There's some little missteps here and there, like that axe that swings backwards. If usually an axe swings forwards, but I digress. It's an interesting premise and concept, plus tried historical fiction. The world building is interesting, and relatively well executed. It's an overall decent start that ends on a cliffhanger. Plus the perspective remains open for interpretation. So it's not just the Vikings were the colonizers and the natives were the victims here. Because there's another player on the island that that doesn't differentiate between enemy or foe. So nice inclusion of the skinwalker shapeshifter concept, which I come to right now. It's not just a thing in North America, because it's usually a thing among the Navajo, but it's also a thing among, let's say, South America, or at least Mesoamerica, among the ancient Maya. There was, among the Yucatec, it was something called the Way Peak. I don't exactly how to spell the word. It's basically a wizard that basically made a deal with the god of death in some kind of dark ritual in exchange for his soul. And there's several interpretations of it, but the only way they have the ability to change it to an half human, half wolf or coyote kind of being, or a dog, sometimes even half deer. So pretty interesting concept. Where the ugly is it relies a little too much on Vikings versus werewolf. The characters feel kind of bland, sometimes a little superficial. Nothing really stands out, which is unfortunate. The only thing I know about Ulfend is that he has a family, a wife and daughters, but that's pretty much it. There's nothing really that stands out. And the werewolves or shapeshifters or skinwalkers could have used a little more native to Newfoundland elements or Beowulf elements, just like the natives. They could have used a little more, since the Beowulf and presumably, but I'm not sure about that, their ancestors, Skrælings that you see here could use a little bit more facial paint, because they really value the color red and needs a little bit more action, but the cliffhanger gave them a little bit of an out. I think they're saving that for issue 2. So yeah, the final verdict. Well, the league was very positive about it for some reason. 390 people liked it with a 4.0, so very positive. And we can go to one of the reviewers here, or a few of them. I can show all of them, but I'll discuss a few. Seatown. The problem starts from the first action scene, where one of our Vikings somehow cuts upward with his axe, and I noticed that as well. You can tell how little sense it makes from the awkward position that the artist forced to put the character in. Then a werewolf shows up. And that's true. It's a little confusing at the beginning. We flash back a day to when the group reached North America. As we later find out, their chiefs attempt to find a peaceful place to settle. And yeah, here's another one. Some random smart ass, or A55. I might be a history buff, but this particular area and time period is not an area of expertise on my end. But with that in mind, why were the natives in this dressed like some Native Americans in the 50s, 60s Western? These people are dressed like they're from the North American Southwest. That's true, by the way. Not an Inuit culture of modern day Canada. Well, I wouldn't call the Beerfuk Inuit people, so they kind of you can't miss the mark there. But this isn't a bad story either. Here another one says, great read, interesting story with loose historical elements to it. The story is clear in its direction, and this issue was mostly settling up to the next. I liked it didn't try to do too much and was short and sweet. Also gave the main character some dimension. I didn't see it quite, but I digress. The art was pretty good and fits the story well. The art tone is somehow simple and nothing that pops out, but I think it's, yeah. And here, what's not to love about werewolves and Vikings? Exactly. And here's another one that's a little more, yeah. I really don't like the trope of starting with an action scene, flashing back to the day before to give context, and then ending where the cold open stopped. Other than that, this was fine. Nothing really stood out to me character-wise, but at least the art was nice. Agreed. And yeah. Very satisfying first issue. The tone and dialogue felt authentic, which I appreciate, but I'm wrong to have noticed that the werewolves look very similar to the ones from the movie The Howling. Yup. Or at least Van Helsing, but I wish they added a little more Beerfuk or yeah, native elements from that era. And yeah. Here's another one that I have a problem with as well. This is just okay for me. It feels like it's relying on the concept of Vikings versus werewolves a little bit too much, being cool rather than telling a particularly compelling story beyond that. And yeah, I agree with that as well. So yeah, I won't score it as high as. I mean, it's up for a good start, but it felt a little bit flat in the second half of the story. So I won't score it as high as the people who gave the high score. Not as low as some of the people here. I scored a 72 out of 100. It's okay for when you like the concept of werewolves or skinwalkers versus Vikings. If not, if you want a story about Vikings that has a little more character development, more depth, and yeah, a little more action as well. A little more, yeah, focus on character development, etc. Read Vneland Saga by Makoto Yukimura. My bad, Makoto Yukimura. And yeah, that's all I have to say for this video. If you'd like to see me make more videos like this, leave a like, subscribe if you want to, not because you have to. And check out Jero Warrior issue 2, soon to be 1, 2 and 3 on Global Comics and Gumroad. And that's all I have to say for this video. I try to upload this on a Friday. We'll see how it goes. But now it's time to take a nap. So, hasta la próxima, chicos and chicas. Ciao matane.